Hi everybody, it's Kathy here with something new and something exciting. I've joined the Paper Funday Challenges, a challenge for all things paper, and this month we're sponsored by Paddy's Creating and Lawn Fawn. So welcome to January, and I am choosing to go with a monochrome, which is the twist for the month. So my monochrome layout involves the use of the browns and the bones and the tones of the browns. I'm using some products from Scrapbook Fantasies to create this layout. But first of all, I want to tell you I've joined the team. Yes, I'm part of the Paper Funday Challenges team, and the blog is set up by Dawn. And please hop on over. The link will be down in my description below. And join in the fun. You could be a winner. You could be our top pick, or you could be chosen to be one of our guest designers. So follow along with this tutorial today, and hopefully I'll inspire you enough to check out the blog and be part of this fun process. So as I said, I'm going with a monochromatic layout, and I'm going with the browns because I'm using the photos from my daughters and my visit to the theatre to watch Mufasa. And we were going to see it the day before it was released, so it was a pre-release viewing, and it was amazing. I must say I was a bit reticent at first to go and see, but I am so glad that I actually went with her to see it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do like a divided layout, splitting it in two, and I'm using this lovely wood grain side from another Scrapbook Fantasies paper. I will put all of the papers down below as well if you're interested. They are Australian made and are very good products to work with. Now, as you can see here, I started cutting and I should have kept going because I was correcting what I was doing, but then I reversed it and I actually made a mistake. But that's okay, because as with paper, nothing is wrong. It's just different and you just recreate. So off screen, when I put it all together, I marry up the wood grain and you can't even tell that I've put it on incorrectly. So pardon me throughout this if I cough a little bit. I've got a bit of a summer cold, and I really do apologise if that's interrupting the video processing today. So I have off screen gone and mastered those onto the layout, and now I'm just going to add my photos and start building what I want to happen for this layout. Now, working with a monochrome, when I think monochrome, I sometimes think, oh, that can be a little bit boring. It can restrict what you can do, but I love this colour choice. I would not have chosen browns before, but I think it goes really well with the photos and it allows for this to come together. So what I did was I've just gone through some scraps and I've pulled out some browns that I have in my scrap pile, and I've added it to this layout. And I'm just adding in some squares and some rectangles to build up the mounting behind and layering it up nicely. So when you play with paper, it's all about just playing. That's exactly the key word. Let's play with it and see what we come up with. So I've gone ahead and I also cut out some dies, and I've got like a film strip reel here, and I put those in under the main photos. I've got some strips of film which I'm using as frames for these two smaller photos to the side, and I created a whole lot of flowers out of the brown cardstock. Now I fussy cut these two because they reminded me of Mufasa and his wife in the show, so I'm using those as highlight cluster points, and from there I added the flowers, which are three-dimensional because I have pinched the petals, and when I pinch the petals they've given them that lift off the layout, and that gives them a little bit of three-dimensional looking, and you saw that at the beginning of this video, and you will see close-ups at the end. So I've adhered those down into place, put everything into place, and I've added some leaves which I cut out from the leftover bone paper there, and I'm just layering up my title, which is Mufasa, of course. And I have done it twice. So I've done it one in the dark brown and one in the lighter brown to give it a shadow effect. And I'm using my dies to do that. And I have made them into the stickers through the Xyron sticker maker. So much easier when you're working with fussy pieces like that to run it through that sticker maker and just then layer it up. And I use the permanent ones so that they will not come off. When I do work with them, I don't press them down until I'm happy and they're in place. So as you can see, I've now got my three clusters happening. I have my visual triangle. I'm just going to add in some faux stitching around the edges of the bone pieces of paper. That's just going to add some more detail to the layout and also create more interest and direct the eye around the page. Faux, sorry, pardon me. Faux stitching is a great way to add detail and without pulling out your sewing machine, although you could, if you wanted to, use your sewing machine to do that extra added detail. Now that I've done that, I'm also going to choose a white pen to go around the darker brown elements on the page. And I just need to find my white pen, which is tucked right down the bottom of my box to the side that I have all my pens in. And I'm going to just layer it up here with some faux stitching. Sorry about that, had a bit of a coughing fit, had to go off screen for a moment. So as I said, I'm layering it up here with some white gel pen just to go on the darker part here, and that's also faux stitched into place. I'm using the white gel pen also to highlight the petals on the flower, just to give a little bit more detail. It's just they're the little touches that make all the difference. So when you're using die cuts, you can leave them flat and simple, or you can add little highlights, and I'm using the white gel pen to do the highlights, like the light shining on the petals of the flowers. So it does take a little bit of time to add these little bit extras, but they're all the things that make your layout stand out and make it something that's that little bit extra and showing that you actually care about your designs. Simple touches like this make all the difference, and they create such impact overall. I'm adding in some gold, bronzy stickled, actually it's Nuvo drops in the glitter, and that's in the tones of the monochrome as well. And as you can see, the browns are just looking perfectly with the photos and with that layout. I'm using a date stamp with the date that we went to see this movie. It was my last day of school, which was quite funny. I'd spent the whole day at court that day and then I went to school for the Year 6 Arch, and then I got back and had to go to this movie with my daughter. So it was a very full-packed day. So I'm just adding in some ink splatters here, using the white ink here to create the splatters. I'm adding detail to the layout, and this just adds that little bit of extra interest. And I'm using the Dina Wakley white acrylic one, which is a bit thicker. Now, I'm terrible at adding splatters. I'm not as great as Mel W. She does amazing work with ink splatters, and you might want to check out some of her videos as well. So that's that ink splatter going in. It's adding an interest to the layout, as I said, and I'm just clearing it off my photos because I am hopeless. I need to cut some guards for the different size photos, and maybe, just maybe, I might get it right. And there's the finished layout. As you can see, I've added those ink splatters there. You can see the dimensional flowers. You can see the fussy cut elements that reflect the photos. I've got my die cuts in place, and that is my overall layout for the month using the Paper Funday Challenge. You too can be creative and join in. There is a lot of very talented people who play along. Go and check them out on the blog. All the details are down in my description box below. I'd be really happy if you could support me in my new endeavour on this new design team. I'm very excited to be part of it, and I look forward to bringing you new and interesting layouts throughout the year using the products by the sponsors, as well as the twists that we get challenged with every month. So thank you very much for staying and watching. I hope you stay right to the end when I ask you a question, and give me a thumbs up if I've done something that inspires you today. Thank you to all my subscribers who keep coming back. If you aren't a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Help me hit that 500. Here we go. My question is, what else do you want to see from me? Happy scrapping, everyone!